Hello and welcome to English. Today we are on session 6 of our historical documentary research. We are studying connotative language to find implicit bias. I'll explain what that means. The picture I have here is one of the topics that we could have chosen for our historical documentary. This is a grave site and a picture of a young boy named Emmett Till who was beaten to death. This has been about racism. He was 14 years old. And he was beaten so badly, and his face was disfigured so badly that at the funeral, they begged mom to close the casket, but she wanted to show us, everyone, how ugly the violence was. And so they had an open casket. And if you want to look up at pictures of Emmett Till's funeral, it's pretty incredible. Okay, I'm not going to show them here, but it's very sad issue of racism in our country. Okay, so that's Emmett Till. Our directions are here. We're going to talk a little bit about something called connotative language today, and then you're going to get the most of the period to do your research. And we are on our fourth day of research. We want to do one source each day, so we have a total of 5 by the end of the week. And on Monday, we already start talking about how we're going to present the information that we found. This we went over every day about how we're grading this. We'll do it in 2 parts. The first part is the 5 sources that you have in your writer's notebook. Starting on page 83, this will be worth 25 points. And next week, we'll talk about making our documentary with our Screencastify. And I said earlier that you must be done completely correctly with the uh, research to be able to have the Screencastify graded and started. Okay, just a quick review. On Tuesday's lesson, we discussed that in a historical documentary, we are looking to research and give only facts and not opinions. And we just kind of reviewed that, went over the difference between facts and opinions. And also, we want to make sure that we are aware of and recognize any biases that we have towards a topic. We don't want to give any of that or any opinions. We're not trying to persuade anybody to a certain point of view. All we're doing is just trying to present facts as they have happened, okay? Strictly the facts. In today's lesson, okay, whereas previously we wanted to recognize our bias, okay, make sure that we're not showing a bias in what we're presenting. Well, now, today we're going to talk about when you're reading an article or watching a video, you want to be aware of that the author may be trying to slant the topic to their point of view. And one of the ways they do that is using something called connotative language. And connotative language is certain words that they'll throw in. And it's not anything they hit you over the head with. A lot of times it's little words that just throw in to kind of very powerful. A lot of times they're adjectives, describing words to try to get you to agree with their point of view. Okay, so here's connotative language. Officially, the definition is the idea and feeling connected to a word, not just a dictionary definition. Okay, so when you hear a certain word or term, you get a certain feeling about that word or certain impression. A couple examples here. Wall Street, the literal meaning of Wall Street is a street that is in Lower Manhattan. That's in New York City. That's where all the big business companies have offices. But connotatively, it refers to wealth and power. You know, like, oh, yeah, Wall Street, it means you might have a lot of money. The second one here is there's no place like home. While home may refer to the actual building someone lives in, connotatively, it refers to family, comfort, and security. When you say, oh, there's no place like home, there's no place like being around your family and having that comfort that comes with that. Okay, so there's a difference between the literal meaning and then the feeling that you get what's connected to a word. Okay, this here is a short 1 minute and 12-second video that we're going to play that gives an example of connotative language.
Connotation and denotation. Denotation is the literal meaning of a word. For instance, the Webster Dictionary definition for the term unique is a word that is used to say that something or someone is unlike anything or anyone else, very special or unusual. But the word unique can have connotations attached to it. Connotations are the feelings or emotions attached to words. To some, unique can have the connotations such as strange or weird attached to it. Here's another one. Peter was a confident football player. This could be interpreted as positive or negative. Peter could be a cocky football player or one that knows what he's doing and plays the game well. It all depends on how you say it and the context of the sentence. Here's an example. Peter was such a confident football player that he was disregarding plays and letting his teammates down. Or, Peter was such a confident football player that his teammates were happy to have him in the game. Words have positive and negative connotations. The word skinny is more positive than gaunt, but the word slender is more positive than skinny. Words evoke meaning depending on how they are used in a sentence.
Created using Powtoon.
Okay. All right. So that's an example there. Okay. So the last thing I have for you on this is just in a written example. Here's in green here with the blue highlights. I'll just read this real quick. It says, in telling a friend of mine about the New York Times article we had read about the student who had worn a T-shirt criticizing the principal, I hadn't even gotten to explain that we were talking about something that happened almost 20 years ago. So I think my friend thought the kid had worn a shirt criticizing the current principal. Then another friend joined us, and Clayton started to tell her what we were talking about. Here's what he said. Okay, and I know this is just a snippet from an article. Okay, it says, so we were talking about this rebellious kid who wore an outrageously inflammatory T-shirt to school, and it caused all kinds of disruption. Okay, notice the words that I've highlighted in red. Okay, so down here, what I have on this next slide is that the words like rebellious, inflammatory, disruption, these make it seem like he's not very sympathetic to the student. Okay, on the other hand, you might have said the student was being courageous and stood up for his freedom of speech rights. Okay, and wearing an opinionated shirt, and that maybe the principal overreacted. So the words that you use in describing a situation or story have very powerful impact. And those describing words are called connotative language. And as the video showed, you can have positive or negative connotations to words. But the idea here is just like we wanted to recognize our own bias, understand when you're reading an article, watching a video, the author may use words that show their bias as you go through the article. Okay, so what I want to do is finish here and give you time today. Again, we're writing our fourth source today on Thursday. Again, have your site, the notes, and a picture. And we'll let you go. If you have questions, please let me know. Continued good luck. I look forward to seeing your research. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.